How to Cast Out a Demon, number 118. Welcome back. Today we'll be looking at the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke to identify what it takes to cast out a demon from Jesus' example. So let's get started. Matthew 17:17-21, Mark 9:25-29, Luke 9:42b-43a. When Jesus saw that a crowd had come running, he rebuked the demon, the unclean spirit. "You deaf and mute spirit," he said, "I command you to come out and never enter him again." After shrieking and convulsing him violently, the spirit came out. The boy became like a corpse, so that many said, "He is dead." But Jesus took him by the hand and helped him to his feet, and he stood up. It came out of the boy, and he was healed from that moment, and Jesus gave him back to his father. And they were all astonished at the greatness of God, while everyone was marveling at all that Jesus was doing. After Jesus had gone into the house, the disciples came to Jesus privately and asked, "Why couldn't we drive it out?" "Because you have so little faith," he answered. "For truly I tell you, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. But this kind does not go out except by prayer and fasting." My thoughts. It took 3 things to cast this demon out: faith, prayer, and fasting. Apparently, the disciples were missing one or more of these elements. And notice Jesus had all 3. Some might say, well, Jesus was God. He just tapped into his superpowers and bang, the demon was gone. And I ask, if Jesus did that, what kind of example would he really be? No, he was fully human, depending on the Father for this miracle. Jesus was in perfect harmony with the Father by abiding in him. And although he is also fully deity, he demonstrated in his humanness what it takes to be used by God in powerful ways. He was modeling for us. One of my favorite verses on Jesus abiding in his Father is in John 5:19. "Therefore Jesus answered and was saying to them, 'Truly, truly, I say to you, the Son can do nothing of himself, unless it is something he sees the Father doing. For whatever the Father does, these things the Son also does in like manner.'" Did you catch that? Jesus as a man was in sync with the Father. And how was he in sync with the Father? Certainly through the 3 elements he cited for his disciples, but lest we dumb down abiding to having a good devotional life, let's take an abiding inventory. Jesus was, in his word, obeying the word, loving him by obeying his commands, loving people, performing good deeds, walking out his calling, waiting on the Father's timing, focused on eternal things. And we could go on and on. Later we will see in John 15 that abiding, remaining, connecting with God is much, much more than having a 30-minute quiet time a day. Jesus lived his life in the Father's, and we are to live our lives in Jesus's. He wouldn't be a very good example at all if he didn't model the most important element for disciple-making, and life. Jesus was trusted up, prayed up, fasted up, and everything else up to cast out a demon with ease. If we do the same, we can do the same and even greater works. John 14:12. My story. I remember it as clear as day. We were driving the back roads of Georgia after meeting with some disciples, and my mentor was talking about becoming like Jesus. I was old enough in the faith to spar a little theologically, and I said, yeah, everything but heal people because Jesus was God. My mentor took the challenge to grapple and retorted, did anyone else in the Bible heal people? Okay, he had countered that move pretty well, and I had a quick comeback. But what about reading people's minds? Aha, I had him on that one. Nope. He answered, did anyone else read people's minds? Rats! He got me again. Peter knowing the thoughts of Ananias and Sapphira, Acts 5:1-11. What about raising someone from the dead? He responded. Did anyone else? Embarrassed, I sheepishly said, I know, Elijah and Elisha. I was pinned to the mat. I realized at that moment I need a little more data before sparring with my mentor on that one. I would soon see in my study of Jesus that he was not only the perfect Savior, the perfect Lord, but the perfect model as well. He didn't do the great miracles because he was God. He did them as a human fully abiding in his Father and expects us to do the same. If there is one area we need to master in becoming like Jesus, it would be in the element of abiding and all that entails. Our action plan. Now it's time for application. Here's some ideas. Do a Bible study on following the example of Jesus through the New Testament. Take those you are discipling through the same Bible study. Don't ask, what would Jesus do? Ask, what did he do? And do it. So, there you have it, folks. Jesus showed us that abiding in the Father is the key to casting out demons and everything else in life. Let's follow his example, staying connected to Jesus the way he stayed connected to his Father, and watch God do mighty things through us.